Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Droid Life Show. It's episode 4. We made it this long somehow. And it's been a week since we did our last show, which was all about the new Nexus stuff and Android 4.2. This week, we're sort of getting back to the normal swing of things. And to do that, we're going to actually run another contest. So we ran a contest a couple weeks ago, had some issues with chat, so we're sort of avoiding the chat contest format. But anyways, our friends at NVIDIA hooked us up again. We have 2 Transformer Pad Infinities. That's the TF700, I believe. It's the high-resolution tablet. Also, keyboard docks to go with those. So we got 2 of those. We're going to give those away later in the show. So we want you to listen along, watch, and later on we'll get to the point where we talk about how you can enter. So for now, just hang with us, listen to us ramble and rant, and then we'll give away, again, 2 tablets courtesy of our friends at NVIDIA. Check them out at NVIDIA Tegra on Twitter. So anyway, I'm Kellen, your host, and the rest of the crew is here. We got Tim, Eric, and Ron. Everyone say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, so we're just going to start off with some hot topics to sort of kick things off. And the first one we wanted to talk about is this HTC Droid DNA. Now, it feels like we've been talking about this phone for months and months and months now, but we finally got a press invite from HTC and Verizon. They're having an event next week. So it's going to be official. There's really no question as to what they're going to talk about. It's going to be this phone. And actually, one of our readers pointed out that in the flyer or the press invites, there's like this half sort of rounded globe. And if you look at the leak picture of the actual device that came out like an hour later, you can see part of that in the wallpaper. So it's definitely that phone if anyone was second guessing that. So anyway, we got that event going on next week. Dave will be there, our East Coast homie, will be there on the scene. He'll get hands-on. We'll probably have a live blog and all that good stuff. But so that's sort of like the only real phone that's kind of coming out right now, right? I mean, like Galaxy Note 2's on the way. But we haven't had a date for that. We got this Droid DNA coming out, and then it's kind of be quiet. Not that it's going to be a slow holiday season, I don't think, but it just seems like once we get this, what are we going to talk about? So I guess I'll just kind of go around and I just want to get last minute thoughts again on Droid DNA. Just give me what you think. Like I know we definitely know what it looks like now. We've got an official press render. It looks like the original Credible, but anything standing out? Eric, I know you actually do like this phone, so we'll start with you. Just tell me what your final sort of thoughts are before we go official with the DNA.
I never really had a Droid Incredible. I was more on the Motorola side of the whole Droid brand when that was going on, and so I'm kind of excited. I never got the black and red color scheme that HTC seemed to have incorporating into their phone. So I kind of like how it looks. I'm still really excited for it. I think it's going to be a beast of a phone. So I'm pretty psyched.
Yeah. Ron, you were an Incredible. You had the original Incredible, didn't you, Ron?
Yeah.
Does this phone appeal to you at all? I know you don't like big phones all that much, but does the look at least appeal? Anything?
Yeah, I mean, I don't care for giant phones, but I mean, when they first showed what is it called, the J butterfly in Japan, is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we think we have bad names out here. It looks like a really, really great phone. I mean, it looks well designed, everything else like that. I probably won't get one because number one, it's on Verizon on contract with, Sense and everything else on top of it. But the design of it and everything else looks great. So it actually might be an option if enough people pick it up, and that we can get some sort of a custom ROM thing going on there. But the 1080p display and everything else like that, specs wise and design wise, it looks really, really nice. So and it's nice to finally have a legitimate 1 series phone on Verizon as well.
Yeah, it's sort of interesting that it's on the level of the 1 series, right? But they won't. It's like Verizon said, no, we're not going to brand to that. We're going to throw this Droid thing on there because that's just what we do. So, I don't know. Tim, thoughts on the DNA?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what they do hardware-wise. Basically, besides the on-screen keys, which is a little disappointing. I'm excited.
Yeah, HTC doesn't seem to want to adopt the on-screen navigation keys. And I know some people love those, some people hate them. I've gone into the comments whenever we post that phone, and there's always like 3 people that go, thank God, no on-screen keys. And then there's 3 more people that go, are you kidding me? They're the greatest invention ever.
Just straight up, I'm not buying it because I don't have on-screen keys.
Maybe that's our next poll tomorrow. Next poll, what would you prefer on-screen? Yeah. But speaking of Sense, Ron, you brought up the new Sense. So when the picture came out yesterday, that new official render, and it's Sense 4 Plus, and everyone just kind of went ugh. I mean, it looks tired, old, boring. I mean, like Samsung's revamped TouchWiz to make it decent, and even LG completely overhauled their UI for the Optimus G and all that. So it feel, and even Motorola's changed theirs, although theirs seems to be getting simpler, which a lot of us appreciate. But Sense just looks identical. It doesn't. It for me anyway. I mean, if I get that phone, the first thing I'm going to do obviously is throw third-party launcher on there to wipe out Sense. It just looks so tired and boring. Is it time for HTC to redo it all? I mean, is it time for Sense 5 and it looks completely 100% different, or what should HTC be focusing on? And I guess partly where I'm going is they posted October sort of revenue numbers this week, and they were awful. I mean, the company is struggling. So it could software enhancements help them out? Is what does HTC got to do, I guess, to sort of make this phone sell to everyone? Does anyone have any ideas for HTC?
Change up Sense, definitely. I mean, I think that was what the first thing that everyone was talking about right off was like, whoa, Sense is exactly the same as it's always been. I think it's time to change it up. If Moto can actually make me enjoy Moto Blur, then I know that HTC can somehow make me like Sense. So it's possible.
Well, I think back when Sense first came out was, pretty early on. As opposed to stock Android didn't really look that good either. But now that we've seen Ice Cream Sandwich and Jelly Bean kind of grow up and get a little bit more refined, Sense still looks the same. So it looks almost comical when you put it next to stock Android. So it's just they're going to need to change it. I don't know if it'll be a complete overhaul, but I think it needs some growing up.
Well, HTC has been in the software game for a long time. They were skinning Windows Mobile originally, and if you look at, I think maybe it was back as Windows Mobile 5, but definitely 6.1 and 6.5. I know I had that on the Touch Pro 2 that I had, and they totally revamped the way that Windows Mobile worked and looked and everything else like that. And it was slow and sluggish because it was running on top of Windows Mobile, which was already kind of janky, but. They changed the look, and that's where it was called Touch Flow back then, and then they revamped it for Android, and that was the first skins, and you look at that, and they were the partners with Google for the G1, and they started coming out with the Hero and everything else like that. That's where you first started seeing Sense on Android phones, and I think people did pick them up because of the changes in that. I saw a lot of OG Droids, but I also saw a lot of Incredibles and a few Arises here and there because it looked prettier and nicer than Android did at the time. Especially on the Aris, which had 1.5 and 1.6 Android, which looked like crap.
Yeah.
So they've gone through these huge. If you look at Touch Flow, then you look at Sense. The early versions, they've gone through these huge iterations. Remember, Sense used to just have those 3 buttons on the bottom. Phone apps, customization, which just HTC customizations, which of course you're changing constantly. So they've made some huge improvements over the last few years. Does it need to change? Sure, but they've had a consistent style, which I don't know if they've been evolving over time over the last 3, 4, 5 years. So they're definitely putting in a ton of work to revamp that and work on that. I think they deserve some credit for that. Does it need to be worked on some more? Absolutely, but as far as anybody else out there, they've been working on it. I think maybe even the longest out of anybody in the game. Yeah.
The only thing that sort of concerns me about it when I looked at that phone, the DNA, and I looked at Sense, and we sort of talked about this a little bit last week. We talked about what are they going to do to make it a 5-inch phone like the Note, where there's extra features and a pen and stuff like that. And when I look at Sense on that, I just kind of go, what's selling me? Like, I know it's got really high-end specs, and the camera's going to be awesome, the display, all that stuff. But what Samsung and LG are doing now is they're putting high-end specs, but they're saying, no, we don't really care. Like, that stuff, that's just going to come with it no matter what. But we're going to build in new software tweaks to make this better than everybody else's, and that's how we're differentiating. And I guess I don't feel right now that HTC is doing that, and maybe that's why they're struggling so bad is because they're struggling to find a way to set their products out in front of everyone else. I mean, the 1 Series I think did pretty well, but that hasn't even pulled them out of this like year-long rut they've been in. So
yeah, but they had a ton. I mean, they did a lot of customization in the multitasking where they did it in a different style than Google did. I really liked that. I liked their stuff moving to TVs, but they had a lot of, they had the issues where they couldn't get the units into the U.S. for maybe about a month initially on AT&T and everything else like that, and then you don't have carrier-wide devices to put those out. I mean, that makes a big difference having them on every single carrier.
Well, and they were switching from that mode that everybody was in for 6 months, where they were just pumping out as many phones as they could, and that's when their profits really skyrocketed. And then when they came back to this, we're going to build higher quality phones and put out less of them. Now we're kind of seeing the financial aspect of that coming back to bite them.
Yeah, definitely doesn't seem to have worked. And Ron, speaking of them, you said how it's beneficial to have devices on all 4 carriers. When I was at CTIA and I met with HTC and I asked them directly, I said, why didn't you release this next phone or this other phone on all 4? And they said, we want to. We wish we could. They didn't say this specifically, but it didn't sound like, it was almost like they were admitting to not having the power to be able to do that. Like Samsung can't do that, but like Motorola can't do that. HTC basically can. They said in a perfect world they would. So.
It's very, very clear when you look at which manufacturers are releasing devices on which carriers. Motorola has got a new phone on Verizon every 3 days practically. So it's very, very, and then Samsung's putting it everywhere they possibly can. So it's very, very clear who has the power in those relationships, and it's all very much tied to the carriers. So as much as we like to blame Google for a lot of those issues, it's really the carriers are kind of the bad guy.
Yeah, the carriers are kind of juggernauts. All right, well, let's talk about a poll we ran yesterday. So Tim and I were just kind of talking about data and data plans, and so we just threw up this poll that we asked what the current state of the Droid Life community's data plans are. Are you still on unlimited? Have you gone to shared data? Are you on a tiered data plan? And the reason we sort of brought it up was because there's been all these new phones out, and in order to get a new phone, most people aren't going to pay $600, $650. At least we don't think. They're going to they might, only pay the $199 so they can get the cheap phone and then just lose unlimited data. We're sort of curious as to how many people have been able to keep it after basically a year. And the poll results show 84% of people are still on unlimited data. And I know a lot of them got the Galaxy Nexus, and so they were locked in for 2 years. But I thought that was a pretty astounding number. We've had arguments about whether shared data is good or bad, but the fact that all these people are still willing to get it. So before I go on, though, is everyone still on unlimited? Have any of you guys switched?
I switched.
You switched? Are you on a share plan now or just a tier?
I always had a family share plan, but I actually switched maybe a few days before you threw up that poll, actually.
Okay.
But yeah, it's my wife and I, and she uses, maybe 250 megabytes, if that, a month. Wow. Yeah. And I use about 1.5 to 2 gigs. So I've got 4 on there, and that's more than enough for that, just in case we travel or whatever else, or she happens to use more out of random. But we're saving $40 a month on our plan, so it made sense. I wasn't using it, so.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Eric, are you unlimited still, or?
Yeah, I'm still unlimited.
Okay, and Tim, you're unlimited, right?
Yes. Come on.
I have to ask. All right, so then my next question was going to be. Well, Ron, you already sort of answered this, and maybe you can just add on to it. But for the other two, is there any way you would ever give it up? And just explain that. Is there any way you would ever give up unlimited data?
If I was forced to.
You wouldn't. If the Droid DNA. That's right. So the Droid DNA comes out and say it's $199. That seems like a pretty good deal. It just blows your mind. You don't want to fork out $600. Is there any way any phone could get you to get off of unlimited data?
Yeah, a phone could do it. A phone could definitely do it.
It would have to be the right phone.
Yeah, it would have to be the right phone, and a phone that I would want to use for 2 years, which that's not every phone, trust me. But it's possible.
Just has to be the right phone. Are you sort of the same way, Eric? Has to be the right phone?
Yeah, it'll be that, or pretty soon here I'm going to be getting off the family plan at some point, and when I start paying for my own, I don't know where I'm going or, if I'm staying with Verizon. So we'll see how that goes. But that'll probably kick me off unlimited wherever I end up.
Yeah,
If the planets were aligned for me, basically, if the 1X came out when the tier data was going and it was on Verizon, and I was in the situation where I needed a phone, I would have got the 1X on Verizon on tiered data. That's the one phone I can think of right now that I would have done it for.
I probably would have done the same thing.
so does that mean you would buy the Droid DNA?
No, because the Droid TNA is, I haven't felt it yet, and it might be a little too big for my liking.
All right. Well, you have the Note. Well, we'll talk about the Note 2 later. I want to get
Yeah.
that. So Ron, you switched then, and it was the financial savings.
It was financial. It was also just I wasn't using the unlimited data. Blackman X on Twitter, he posts up how he's using like 30 to 40 gigs in a month, which and yes, if you're streaming tons of content or anything else like that, but then you have to worry about battery life and everything else like that. So I'm never been in that situation. So the most I used, I think I used, there was a month where or a couple weeks where I didn't have any internet in my apartment. And so I was just using my phone the entire time. And that time I got close to 2 gigs, and that was the only time. So I'm like, I'm going to save money. I'm still going to I'll have unlimited minutes, unlimited texting, and everything else like that, which, am I calling a lot? No, but it's nice to know that that's rolled out instead of paying for you have to pay the other stuff on the unlimited plan. So
yeah,
it made sense, and I really wasn't using it. So for somebody that's, actually utilizing unlimited data, it makes sense, but I don't really see how you could be unless you're doing some sort of tethering or anything else like that, which, you can't even do unlimited tethering. So
yeah, I've seen a few readers always weigh in and that say they use like 20 a month, and a lot of them actually are like, I know there's at least a couple guys that are truckers, and so they're on the road, and so at night, they're watching movies, videos, streaming, everything, and so yeah, those guys totally make sense. So I have an AT&T line that I keep open, and then I have my Verizon line, and between the two, I think each month I use about 4 gig or something like that, and my AT&T, I think it's like a 3 gig tier or something like that, and yeah, I get warned every month, and because I use their LTE now because it's so crazy fast, and so if I upload photos, videos, and all that stuff, so I actually don't know that I could get rid of my Verizon unlimited data, but I don't know.
It'd be tough.
It would be really tough, especially since I do get warnings from AT&T every single month. All right, so another poll we ran that I just wanted to talk about quickly. So we want to talk about Nexus stuff for just a little bit. I know we had our special show, and it's kind of been quiet on the Nexus front, but we asked everyone, what would it take? Well, first we asked a poll, I think last Monday, that said, are you going to buy the Nexus 4? And everyone said no because it doesn't have LTE and yada, yada, yada. So then we asked, what would it take to get you to buy a Nexus 4? And obviously, the majority of our readers are Verizon customers, and that was, the number one response. 38% people said put it on Verizon, and I'd probably buy it. And then second, right behind it, 34% was give it LTE. So, when you say put it on Verizon, they only take LTE phones, so I guess that sort of fits both of those. So basically, 60 to 70% people said if it had LTE, it was on Verizon, I'd buy it tomorrow without even thinking about it. Do you guys all sort of feel the same way? I don't get the feeling that everyone's going to buy the Nexus 4. Tim, I think you maybe said you might be buying it. But, if it was coming to Verizon, would you guys all buy it no matter what? Tim, go for it.
Ooh, buy it no matter what? Yeah, probably. No what? Because, it's a Nexus, and just doing what I do, I gotta love Nexus. But if I was just a regular customer, and if it was on Verizon but didn't have 4G LTE, then I would stay away. So...
yeah,
for sure. Ron or Eric, would you guys, if it was coming to Verizon, would this be your phone?
I think it kind of depends on what they actually do with the at this point with the with the way that Verizon treated the Galaxy Nexus, I wouldn't be super inclined to do it. So because basically, if you want to stay on most up-to-date software, realistically, you're going to have to hack it and put it on a ROM. So which it's doable and it's easy, and there's all sorts of tutorials and one-click routes and all sorts of stuff like that, but it's it's not a Nexus in every sense of the word because of those carrier restrictions. So if that was if I really wanted to get a Nexus, then I'd be getting it unlocked. So
yeah,
if it were on Verizon, it would probably be my next phone. I'm a big guy who doesn't care about rooting and unlocking and ROMing isn't hard at all on the Nexus, and I've actually had a fantastic time with my Galaxy Nexus ever since I've unlocked it, throwing ROMs on there. the signal quality could be better, build quality could be better, but overall, I've had a pretty favorable opinion of my Galaxy Nexus. So I would assume that would be what I could expect from the Nexus 4. So
Yeah, I think it'd be tough to turn down if it was on Verizon. Although they would probably sell it $299 on contract or something. Definitely not $299 on locked.
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think most people would probably, if that thing was coming there, especially the majority of our readers, they all love Nexus phones. And I think even though the Galaxy Nexus has sort of had a rough time on Verizon, I think most people would try to go for it anyway. Because even though the Galaxy Nexus on Verizon might have been slower getting updates than GSM or unlocked versions, it still gets them before skin phones, a Razr, all that stuff. So. All right, let's talk about the Note 2 for a second. I posted up my review finally. Sorry that took so long. My final thoughts were sort of, it's a really nice device. It's fun to game on, consume content on. It's got this beautiful display, probably one of the most beautiful on any phone ever. The pen's cool if you're into using a pen on a phone. But basically, for me, it's too big. I don't like holding a giant 5.5 inch. You have to use two hands, and I don't have any use for the pen really. So for me, like I said, it's a really cool phone. And in the review, I mentioned that everyone should just go play with it. Don't necessarily take, my hatred of giant phones, as word. Go play with it yourself. You might love it. And, that's sort of what it came down to. And Tim has the phone now. So I'm curious, Tim, now that you've had it I think you've had it for like 3 or 4 or 5 days or something, haven't you? So what are you thinking now? Do you love it? Is it just way too damn big?
I've had it for about 2 days now, actually.
Is that really all it's been? It's 2 days.
Yeah.
Time.
But this thing is huge, man. I can't really get over the size. I didn't think it was going to be such a huge jump. But when you go from playing with the Galaxy Nexus all day, all the way up to the Note 2, it's just almost overwhelming. And it's not for me. I thought it might be, but no, it's just not. It's great for gaming, watching YouTube videos, and doing all that. But to take it outside and to go, I like to run, so I'm not going to run around the park with this thing. Like, where am I going to put it? So it's just not going to work for me.
Yeah, that's funny. I can imagine you with one of those like arm bands running with the Galaxy Note 2, like up from elbow to shoulder.
Yes, that would be really embarrassing. It's like, oh, is that an iPad Mini on your arm? No, it's just the Note 2.
Yeah, it really is huge. And I don't know if you've noticed, but if you go from the Note 2 and then you grab like the Galaxy Nexus feels small almost, which is insane. Because Eric, because you had the Note, or you had the original Note for a while, and when you drop back down, it's just such a huge difference. But I don't know. They've sold. What did they say? They sold 10 million of them already. Just the Note 2.
Something like that.
That's a lot. I mean, I don't think Motorola's going to sell 10 million Razr HDs. and Samsung's already sold 10 million Note 2s, and it's not really available in the U.S. totally, only on a couple carriers. So crazy. You guys have any other thoughts on the Note 2?
No. You can't even talk about it without making some type of joke. Like,
it's true.
It's just ridiculous. Like, everyone needs to go out, get their hands on this thing, and just laugh. I don't know. It feels good, when you kind of get used to it, but at first it's just funny. So, props to Samsung for, going big or going home, but damn, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's huge. And I'm sort of nervous for all the people that pre-ordered that thing that have never held it. Especially, like I said, most of our readers are on Verizon, so they didn't get the original Note when it came out. So most of them have probably never held this thing.
Which is a scary thought.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. So they're all pre-ordering this thing, and it's going to show up. And I'm sure most people will love it. Like I said, it really is. The camera's awesome. The display's awesome. It feels pretty good in hand. You just have to use two hands. But.
Yeah, it'll take their breath away. Yeah, the display is really nice. Like playing the games on it and all that, it's pretty awesome.
It is.
The Note 1 had a fantastic screen, so to make it better than what that had is just already good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a different type of device. But speaking of Samsung, let's talk about this rebranding just for a second. So, story came out. I actually don't remember who the original source of that was, but said that Samsung is going to rebrand itself, and at CES we're going to see the new Samsung with I don't. They're going to hire guys from Nike to make them more appealing to the world rather than just looking sort of like an Asian company. I think it was quoted as saying.
Whoa, that's like borderline offensive.
Yeah, well,
not to me, but to somebody, that's got to be offensive.
Yeah, they wanted.
Why would you be offended about somebody else being offended?
Because that's who I am, Ron.
So I'm just curious to hear what you guys' thoughts are on a rebranded Samsung. Do they even need to? I mean, Ron, Samsung's already huge. Do they really need to? I don't know. I'm sort of confused by it.
Yeah, that's what caught me by surprise about the story. Is I was just thinking, I mean, what do they need a rebranding for? Everybody knows who they are. Everybody knows what they make, which is basically everything. So I mean, I don't understand the rebranding unless it's something like maybe mobile specific, where they're going to rebrand that portion of them, which to me makes some sense because the fact that they make all sorts of other electronics doesn't necessarily tie in with their mobile products.
Mm-hmm.
So if they want to focus on that, kind of like what Motorola did when they split in half, I think that makes some sense. But who knows?
Yeah, I think the first thing Tim said was their products are going to have like a banana on the back and start using like aluminum.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm planning. Is that whatever they rebranded, it's going to be very minimalistic and it's going to be very like artistic, and it's going to be bad, whatever it is.
They hired Scott Forstall. He's going to take over TouchWiz.
Just green felt on the back of every phone.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, not to just completely trash on that Apple stuff, but that guy's design ideas were so awful. Is that a dying dog, Tim?
Possibly. I thought they would be really quiet, and so far they've been good. But if that keeps going, then they're out of here.
When I first read that story, I was like, I only thought of it in terms of their phones, and then I remembered that my parents have a refrigerator made by them, and somebody I know, all of their stuff is going to get rebranded. So I think that might help them in a sense, because if it was only doing mobile, I think they would get crazy with it and it would end up looking stupid. Yeah. But I think since if it is going to be on every single one of their products, that might temper their creativity a little bit.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what they do. It should make CES at least a little bit of fun. The last CES was pretty boring, so hopefully Samsung does something. Yeah, we can talk about CES as we get closer, but CES is not what it used to be in mobile anyway. For like 2 years there, it was awesome when Android was taking off, and now everyone does their own events or they go to Mobile World Congress. So
I thought it was interesting. I just wanted to touch on that. I really liked Ron's point that Samsung's rebranding could just be mobile related and maybe not their entire line of electronics. I mean, we're talking fridges, dryers, and washers. So who knows? I think that would be nice if it was actually just mobile. I don't know. Kind of interested to see what happens though.
Yeah, if they separated out and just made Samsung Mobile its own brand rather than I mean that would make sense. They are like you said, Ron. They do make everything, so maybe it would be good to All right, so let's talk about this Google Wallet credit card a little bit. So this story came out I think after we did our show last week, so we haven't had a chance to talk about it, but basically Google is going to re-release a Google Wallet app that's installable on any Android phone running 2.3.3 and higher. And while you can't use it at every phone to make payments using NFC, they're going to let you get this Google-branded credit card, which you can then attach to, say, like your default credit card that you have loaded into the Wallet app, and then you can just take this card and swipe it at wherever you go, just like a normal card. Is this crazy or is this brilliant? I'm just curious to hear what you guys think. I've talked to some of you about this, but Eric, what are your thoughts on Google Wallet card?
I think it's Google putting their foot down. I think they're saying, well, fine, if you're not going to accept, the NFC, then we're just going to make you use our service anyway with a physical credit card. I feel it's a pretty strong move from them to go in this direction, but I think it'll work. I know I'll probably use it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll definitely give it a spin. I mean, it's kind of cool to think that you could use this one card and get rid of your other ones. I mean, I'm assuming if you go into the app, you can just keep changing the default to whatever card you want, and then Tim just showed up twice.
Sorry, I don't know what happened. It just kicked me randomly.
That's all right. But I'm wondering if you can go in and like on the fly change your default card and it just changes it, and then you could just like you could be at a store and use one card and go to a different store and change and use a different one. I don't know if it's going to do that or not, but it should be interesting. I mean, I definitely want to give it a shot. I am a little confused as to why Google. I mean, Google's an ad company and a search company, and this is into mobile payments, and now we're talking physical credit cards. I guess I'm not. Maybe I just can't see the future, but where are they? I'm not sure if I understand where they're trying to go with it. So I don't know, Ron. What are your thoughts on the Google Wallet card?
Well, as soon as I heard about it, it made me think of when Apple came out with that Cards app, where you could send postcards, physical postcards to people.
Oh, yeah.
And it sounded as ridiculous as that. So I don't think physical credit cards are the future of payments. So that just really doesn't make it. Although it would be awesome if Apple did come out with a physical passbook for you to have all your cards printed out in, just to compete in that area. Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and specifically because like you mentioned with they're an ad company. I don't know why they're pushing so hard with Google Wallet, other than that they could be the standard and that somehow that'll push people into their ecosystem somehow. More that maybe okay, if I'm putting money into this card, that maybe there'll be some benefits tied in with the Play Store and content there. But outside of that, and we have no inkling of if they'll even try and push something like that. Outside of that, I don't see any reason to do it at all. So there's got to be something more to it.
Yeah,
I agree with what you said that credit cards aren't, or physical credit cards aren't the future of payment, but the world's not ready for that yet, obviously. Otherwise, NFC would have taken off by now. And I think that's what this is. I think that's what Google is saying with this, is that, fine, if you're not ready, then we're going to make you use Google Wallet. And then when everybody does use NFC, aka when Apple puts it in the next iPhone, then you can just move right on over to, the non-card wallet.
Yeah, I think Google is kind of easing all these people into the idea of NFC payments, and I think by introducing the physical card, it's only going to help people feel more comfortable with Google kind of being in control of their finances.
Yeah.
So I think,
but just say that sentence one more time. Google control of your finances.
Yeah. What's the problem, Ron? Come on.
They want to drive your car for you. They want to have all your money.
Yeah. This is 2012, man. We're not. Yeah. This isn't 1980s.
They want you to wear some glasses. They can afford everything you're doing.
We're in the future. This is the future. And I'm fine with that.
This is the future. This physical plastic card. I mean, that's the thing though. Like the idea that I think that makes sense to push more people into their payment system. That kind of makes some sense. But really, what's the benefit there? I would think that if anything, they should be pushing, doing something where okay, NFC is not taking off, so we'll do the scanning thing like Passbook does, and supplement that and start pushing that a lot more instead of pushing in some physical card. I mean, there's got to be something else.
Well, I think it's really cool that it's just basically one card to rule them all. Instead of me having to carry around my Visa, MasterCard, American Express, I can just have one card. I mean, it makes sense. It might not be what exactly we wanted or every feature yet, but it's definitely, I think, a step in the right direction in terms of scaling down my wallet into something that's really manageable with my phone. So...
Tim, I have to say, Thor's really interested in who you're talking to, by the way.
Well, he's hearing Ron, and he's like, what is this guy talking about? I think the physical card sounds great, but that's just because he wants to chew on it. But whatever. That's another story for another day.
Yeah, I mean, the card, it seems like it has to be just to get people to use their app, so they get them into the app. But I'm like Ron, I'm with you. I don't really understand why Google wants to get into the payment business. It just doesn't. To me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless they just really do have some. I'm sure they have a bigger plan. We just haven't figured out exactly what that is yet.
I think we hope they have a bigger plan.
Yeah, I hope.
Google sometimes seems to not think things through every once in a while.
Yeah.
Well, they have to, right? There's got to be some type of game plan. Like, I don't feel like they would just invest all of this and then just to not really have it go anywhere. That doesn't really
just to Nexus Q it.
Yeah, just next to you.
Dude, don't get me started. The Nexus Q. Oh, Ron. The Nexus Q is not done. Like, I think there's work to be done. So, just you wait.
They had a plan all along. Don't worry about it.
Yep. The way I'm seeing it is Google likes to look at certain industries and then say, how can we do this better? And then insert themselves into those industries and do what they think is best. They started with the maps. They did Gmail, Now they're doing the virtual reality, the glasses, the Google Wallet. I just see that they have a vision of how things should be, and then they go out and they try and say this is how it should be done. Even with the mobile phones, they're trying to surpass the carriers because they don't like obviously buying a phone on a contract with a carrier. So you buy it through their website, unlocked, and I don't know. I think it's interesting. I don't know if it's going to go over well, but it'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, I think you're right that Google often has these big plans and visions of how things should. The same thing with Google Music. When they first showed it off, you just do a search for a track and you buy right there. But that's the problem. Their execution always falls flat. I still can't do a Google search and buy a track. Those stores that they have great visions, but their execution, whether it's having music deals that don't follow through for another year after you launch the service, or launching a brand new product that does one or two things and that's about it, and then actually not releasing it.
And that's what we were talking about last week. The difference between Apple and Google is when Apple announces something, it's there that day. When Google announces something, you might get it maybe a week, maybe a month. We don't know. But I don't know. We're all still here, aren't we?
Yeah. Google Wallet feels like it was another one of their great ideas, and it seems like they launched it without actually having anything set up, and they hoped everyone just went, oh yeah, this is awesome, Google, let's do it, and everyone said no. Sort of like Google TV, the way they did that, all the TV networks just went.
Or Google Plus.
Well, yeah, Google Plus is actually sort of a success, I would guess, but
it is now.
Yeah. And I guess the only other thing then that concerns me, since we're talking about Google as an ad company with Google Wallet, is they're just going to figure out a way to put offers and ads into the Google Wallet thing to get you to spend money and things like that too. But
yeah, I would rather have Google throw out a million ideas and say all of them sounded really cool, but none of them took off. I would rather them throw out a million things for us to kind of consume and only a couple of them catch on than have them only stick to a few things and have them be great. I don't know. I like that they're innovative with their ideas, and I think that what they're doing is kind of just driving innovation. I think it's great.
Yeah, no, they absolutely are. They absolutely are. So I mean, you look at that. The idea that there's a company that makes money from doing ads and is also making a car that drives itself is bonkers. So they're doing all sorts of crazy, awesome stuff. I just hope that more of it is successful.
I hope so as well. I'm glad we can agree on that.
I think that's what this physical card is. I think since nobody was using NFC and nobody was using Google Wallet on their phones, you give them this card so it doesn't become the next Google Wave, and eventually they have to shut it down.
Google Wave. What a great product that was.
I used that for all of 10 seconds, and then I was like...
Everyone did. Everyone opened it up and went, this looks really cool. Everyone watched their intro video, and then no one knew what to do with it after that. And it just died.
Yeah. I mean, they basically took everything that Wave did and put it into Google Docs. All the important pieces.
Yeah, I mean, they really did. It was like a beta testing for Google Docs. So yeah, that's Google Wallet Card. We talked a little bit about that. Probably no last thoughts. No, I don't know when we're going to get that new app. I heard rumors or murmurs of it coming out soon, but we haven't seen it yet. All right, so let's talk about updates real quick. There was only a couple of phones that were getting software updates, and I think the Razer M's one. It has a soak test on the way. We don't really know what it is, and the test hasn't started, so we don't know if it's Jelly Bean or not. Galaxy S3 got updated on. It's getting a Jelly Bean. Oh, it's Sprint. Sprint's Galaxy S3 is getting Jelly Bean. Other than that, I haven't had a lot of updates. Once the Bionic got it, everyone just kind of calmed down. So we can move right out of updates. Let's talk about our games of the week. And actually, before we do this, everybody that's watching, I just want to tell you should probably pay attention right now. So, all right, Eric, you got a game of the week?
Yeah. This game isn't new by any means, but the game Spirit is on sale. I think it's $1.99 right now. I think it's normally like $5, which is a little bit pricey for what it is. But it's a very Geometry Wars style. You control this guy going around the screen, and things fly at you, and it's very colorful and visual. You have to draw circles around the enemies to make them go away, and it's really fun. It's a good time waster too. You can sit down, jump into a game, play 5 or 6 rounds, and then be off to whatever you're doing. And I've been addicted, I don't know, this whole week. So it's really good.
Nice. And how much is it?
It's at $1.99 right now.
$1.99. And normally like $5 or $6?
I think it's normally $4 or $5.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good deal. Sweet. Tim, you're playing Need for Speed, I hear.
No, I'm actually playing Granny Smith a lot lately.
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah, because I see everyone talking about Granny Smith in the chat, and I'm like, okay, obligatory Granny Smith plug, since they're paying us $1 million to talk about them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they are.
But actually, yes. Need for Speed Most Wanted, at first I was really skeptic because every time I play a driving game on my mobile, I'm like, this is really lame because either, everything's all off, I'm trying to like steer and stuff, but playing it on the Note 2 is pretty awesome. Like, you got that big screen, it's got good graphics, it's expensive for a mobile game in my opinion. $7 is a lot for a mobile game.
Yeah.
But I think it's almost worth every penny. It's a lot of fun, and it plays fantastic.
That's like when I was reviewing the original Note, I was playing the Dead Space game, and that game just looked fantastic on the huge freaking screen. So I know how you're feeling, Tim.
Yeah, it is quite the gaming machine. I've been playing Zombiewood. Did you guys download Zombiewood?
No, I haven't heard of it.
It's like a sort of top-down shooter. Pretty simple controls, and it's just zombies running around in Hollywood, and you're like this fake action star, and you think you're filming movies, but you're actually killing zombies. It's just pure cartoonish, but it's really addicting, and I'm pretty sure it's free, and I think there's ads. Oh, and it's one of those where you in-app purchases to buy guns and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you could probably beat it without buying anything, but it would probably take you like 6 months because it's one of those. But it was fun. Like I played it for a couple of days and it was a lot of fun. So, and then Tim, you had an announcement. There's something coming out tonight at midnight.
Yeah, only the greatest game of all time, which is Angry Birds Star Wars. Thank you very much. Yeah, they're doing like a special thing tonight, a special live hangout with the developers over at Rovio at 11 p.m. tonight on Google+. And I think the game comes out at 12 a.m. and it's going to be awesome, right? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I think because I hate Angry Birds. Like it just drives me nuts.
Yeah. But Star Wars.
I know, and then Star Wars comes, and I see all like the Chewbacca bird, and I was like, that is actually really cool. I want to just be Chewbacca bird.
Chewbacca bird.
So is it coming out on the Play Store, or are they doing that crappy Amazon App Store exclusivity thing?
I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, though, it better be on Google Play.
I think they're releasing it
everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't think they're smarter than that whole Amazon exclusive thing, though.
Yeah, well, they did that with a couple of games. I was just worried that they were.
They started that with Angry Birds. What is it? What was it?
Rio?
No, it was Rio. Angry Birds Rio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just hate it when they do that. So, all right, well, that's good to know. And it's really coming out at midnight, huh?
It's really coming out at midnight.
Good for Angry Birds Star Wars. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I
just hope there's a paid version. Like, I don't want to deal with ads. I want, like, an HD version for the Nexus 7 for, like, $2, $3, whatever. As long, I just want it to be good. Like,
I want it to be good, too.
Do me right.
Yeah, I want them to not screw up Star Wars, since everyone else always screws up everything they do with Star Wars. So
besides Disney hasn't screwed it up yet.
Not yet. That's true.
Yeah, do we need to talk about that for like just 2 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
All right, Ron, go for it. talk about Disney and LucasArts.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about it. I mean, for one, you got LucasArts and Pixar under the same company again, which is awesome. But mostly, I mean, you look at what Disney has done with the franchises they've purchased, in particular Marvel, most recently, and I mean, the movies that have come out since then have been great, with a few exceptions. But the Avengers was amazing. So and they're letting, as long as they're letting Lucas just be a consultant like he was in Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Don't even let him do that, man. Just don't even let him see the movie until it comes out, and he has to buy a ticket too. Like, don't let him.
He did a good job. He had that whole plot. He had the whole outline and everything else like that, which I think is good. He invented all that stuff. That was great. But when you give him too much creative control, that's where things start getting bad. So. As long as he's in that position, they get a good director, get a good writer, everything else like that. Maybe have a few cameos with Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford.
He better show up.
Yeah. He says he's interested, which is a little bit surprising. So
good.
They're so old. They're all so old now.
Everyone needs a paycheck, you guys. Come on now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just hoping that Michael Bay directs it.
Oh God.
Oh no, please no.
Well, for the
Please.
Death Star explosion though, for the third Death Star.
It'll be like 3 minutes long.
Yeah, in 3D.
Yikes! Yeah, I'm definitely nervous for the. I mean, Lucas already tarnished the hell out of it with episodes 1, 2, and 3, so it can only get better, right? I hope.
No, no.
It is Disney.
I don't know if it
did
get worse.
Right.
May not get better, but it definitely shouldn't be able to get worse.
Yeah, it shouldn't be able to get worse. Yeah. All right, so let's talk about contests. So I asked you to pay attention during that last segment because that's what the contest is. So again, we're giving away 2 Infinity pads, Transformer Pad Infinity, with 2 keyboard docks, courtesy of NVIDIA. And all you have to do is head to the site. If you're already there, awesome. Just jump into the comments. And all you have to do is name off one of the games that we just talked about. And then you also just tell us what your favorite current Android game is right now. So, again, head to the site, droid-life.com, comments of this post that the Droid Life show is posted in, and tell us one of the 4 games that we just mentioned, and then also just mention whatever your favorite game is currently. And we're probably going to choose the winner tomorrow, so we'll let you guys get in there and think about that for a while. So tomorrow morning, we will pick winner at, how about 9 a.m. Pacific. So anyway, last time, get to the comments, name one of the 4 games we just talked about in our game section, and then tell us another one, and that's how you enter. All right, so let's talk about apps just briefly, and then, yeah, we're almost getting towards 7 o'clock. So apps of the week. The app I've been using the most is Zooper. So we did a home screen, show off your home screen post the other day, and the clock widget I was using is called, well, it's from Zooper widget. And basically Zooper allows you to customize everything. You can move text up and down, left and right, resize it, change fonts, add in elements. You can totally customize a clock widget, or they do calendar widgets too. You can basically build a widget from scratch, a minimal widget, and it's really nice. And they've done it in a way that's not super complicated and confusing like some of the other ones. So Zooper, that's what I've been using. Tim, you want to talk about Android 4.2 apps?
Oh yeah, because what good is any app if your core apps aren't kick app? What the heck was that? Sorry, I heard someone screaming. Anyways, Android 4.2 apps got released. Some from the system dump of the LG Nexus 4. There's the camera app floating around, the keyboard app. What else was there?
The clock.
Oh yeah, the clock, the Gmail app. And yeah, so I finally got them all onto the Galaxy Nexus, and I'm loving them. The camera so far is like the greatest improvement for me, at least.
Yeah, the camera's awesome.
I love it. It's awesome, and the keyboard's great too. I don't know, like 4.2 is once it hits AOSP and it starts getting baked into all of our favorite ROMs and all that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be unstoppable.
It is going to be good. Have you guys been on Google Plus looking at all the camera pictures?
A little bit.
Photosphere pictures, yeah. Some people are doing some pretty cool things with them. Yeah, I can't wait until it goes AOSP so we can just get all this stuff built right in. And the keyboard, I love the keyboard. Like I've never been that big a fan of swipe. I mean, I think I liked swipe initially because the idea was cool, but I just wasn't good at swiping. But this keyboard, it has a really good balance of tapping and swiping, and I don't know, it's really nice. All right, what else are you guys using, Eric? You got an app you've been using lately?
Yeah, me and my Xbox have been buddies this week because I picked up my Assassin's Creed 3 and my Halo 4.
Yes.
So I've been using the Smart Glass app like nobody's business, and it is awesome. Just sit in my bed, watch Netflix, and use the Smart Glass as the controller instead of actually bringing the controller over. It is just awesome.
Nice.
Can't you guys just find time, or where do you find the time, I'm sorry, for both games, Halo 4 and Assassin's Creed 3? Like, I'm sorry, you gotta pick one. You don't have time to play
and
both games.
I'm still not done with Borderlands, too.
Oh my lord.
Or your 10-page paper.
Yeah, that too.
It's just not possible. Like, once Black Ops 2 comes out,
possible.
I will be on that 24/7, and I won't be thinking about Halo 4 or anything like that.
Yeah, my brother actually decided not to buy Halo 4 because of Black Ops 2. He's like, I'm not going to have time to play it. I was like, all right, I will be playing without you.
Bad decision.
Yeah, Eric, I think you're the only one playing. Oh, no, Ron, you bought Halo 4, didn't you? Or did you not?
Yes, I'm playing it. Yeah, I got it yesterday, so very excited.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tim and I starting next Tuesday. Is it next Tuesday, Tim?
Something like that.
This is all I have to.
Yeah, Tuesday night. Or no,
will-
Tuesday. So Monday night, 12. Yeah, so
Midnight,
Tuesday.
Yeah, we will be fully on.
That's all I have to say about Assassin's Creed.
Oh my lord.
I don't even know what that is.
It's an American flag.
Yeah, he obviously got
Assassin's
some special edition going on there.
Yeah, because I'm cool like that.
Yeah.
Coming from the guy that just made fun of me for not ordering the special edition Black Ops, are you kidding?
Well, I made fun of you for that too. I mean, come on, dude. You gotta get the hardened edition at least.
What?
You gotta step your game up, bro.
Wow. All right, Ron.
Literally, step your game up.
Thank you. Pun intended.
What's the app you've been using lately, Ron?
The one I've been using a lot lately, or a little bit lately, has been Path. It's another social network that it's available on Android and iOS, and they don't have a web version of it at all. So there's no web interface. You can view a profile and everything else like that, but that's it, kind of like the new Instagram profiles. But it's a really, really slick app. It's its own social networks, and you can only have 200 friends on there. So it limits the number of people on there. So the idea behind it is that you're going to be sharing things with the people that are closest to you, not broadcasting it to the world.
Right.
So it limits that. It's got the camera part of it that's built in has filters just like Instagram, so you can do all that. So you're not using a separate app. You can actually import all of your pictures from Instagram if you want.
Oh, wow.
It's got check-in stuff, which you can tie into Foursquare if you want to post on both. You can post what you're listening to, what you're reading, and it ties in with all of that. And you can also simultaneously post to Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, all that stuff. So it's a really, really nice app. It works well. So it's very, very well designed. They have a nice little, I don't know if I can actually show it or not, but when you tap the plus down there, it flips out. So I don't know if that's actually showing up or not, but it's just they put a lot of work into it. So if you are thinking about looking for something that's to share with other people but maybe not broadcast to the world, that's a cool app to kind of check out.
Yeah, I like Path. I tried to get into it a little while ago, and I'm just like the worst social network person ever. Like I can't find any time to use, like, I don't use Facebook really at all, or Google Plus, and like outside of work I can't even get into Twitter. Like I'm just really bad at it. So I tried that for a while because I was like, oh, like 10 years I'm gonna have this awesome Path. I'm gonna look back through it, all this cool stuff, and then like I just sort of forgot about it.
Yeah, what a terrible idea. Like
but
10 years.
Yeah, I know. But the app, you're right. It was designed really nice and it works really well. But
Yeah, but that's the. Go ahead.
I didn't know the Instagram part of it too, so that's kind of cool. Maybe
they just added that. So, okay. But that's the thing. The same thing when Google Plus first came out. You got to convince all your friends to jump on it, which is impossible to do.
Which is the hard part.
Yeah, but if you can do it, then it's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's just sort of wrap up a little bit. Just some other hot topics that we kind of just tossed out. Well, we've been covering Black Friday deals a lot this week. I hope we're not annoying you with those. We're just trying to get them out there so you know what's coming if you guys are big Black Friday shoppers. I think the biggest deal we saw was Sam's Club selling the Galaxy S3 for like 96 cents or something ridiculous like that, which is pretty damn good deal. Yeah. Samsung sold 30 million Galaxy S3s in 157 days. That just blows my mind. That's a lot of phones in not very much time. We already knew it was just a battle between them and Apple these days, but that really shows. I mean, I don't know that Motorola sold 30 million phones in the last like 10 years, and Samsung just did it in like 3 months or 5 months. So that's sort of remarkable. And then the last thing was Verizon is shutting down their app store.
There we go.
Yes. Nice job, Tim.
Hey, I can come through every now and then.
Yeah, I've been waiting. So I don't know that I've shared this, but I was sitting at it was a CTIA in San Diego, I think last year, and I was at like a Verizon press party, and I was talking to this guy that works like out of their corporate office, and he had the Resound, and it was before it had been announced or anything like that. So I was talking to him about that. And he was like, oh, and have you seen the new Verizon Apps app? And I was like, I just laughed. And the guy was like, why are you laughing? And I was like, no one uses that. He goes, no, look how nice it is. He was trying to show me this new UI because it was when they were like just about to relaunch it. And and I just told him, I was like, dude, no one uses that. I mean, we use Google Play. We don't need another app store. We have Amazon too, which some people do use for the free apps. But the last thing we need is to like Yeah. So I don't know. Anybody have any thoughts on Verizon's App Store besides Tim's sound effects?
Kill it with fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not one person on the site said anything like negative about that idea. They were like, "Wait a minute, Verizon's doing something good for once." I mean, they all looked at it as like the greatest thing to happen.
Yeah, they're like saving money. Like they should pump the money from the development of those apps into like their network or just something. Like I don't know, anything but making just something that doesn't need to be there. So that's it.
Yeah, Verizon's App Store never caught on. I mean, I tried to use it a couple times, and it was slow and buggy. You couldn't find anything. It didn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do you guys have any last-minute words before we sort of end the show here? Actually, I do want to mention one thing. We've had some people ask us why we haven't posted anything about the Nexus 4, Nexus 10. That's because we don't have them yet. Google apparently had all of like 10 review units, and so they really limited it. So they're told me like 3 times now they have another shipment coming in and we're on their list. So we'll have Nexus 10, Nexus 4 eventually, hopefully before the damn thing goes on sale, which is next week. So yeah, we don't have those yet. Sorry, but once we do, you will be bombarded with Nexus 4, Nexus 10 stuff. So
Yes.
So yeah, just hang in there with us. We'll get it eventually. So yeah, that's what all we got.
Is that it? Really? Oh.
You want to keep going? I mean, we can just start. We can ramble on for a while.
I would just argue whether Halo or Call of Duty is better if you.
No, because I would have to get into like a fist fight with somebody over it, and I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't know.
No, we don't want you hurt.
Is there anything tech related going on that happened recently?
Well, I mean, Apple is doing all their patent stuff again. And we could talk about the Motorola thing with the judge threw out Apple's complaints about Motorola unfairly or wanting royalties or whatever they want. No, they want a license for too much. And they said we'd only pay $1 and no more. And the judge got really pissed and just threw it out. So that happened.
Patent stuff.
I'm just so burnt out talking about Apple's patents. Like today they got a new patent for square with rounded corners or something like that. I mean, it just never stopped.
Although it will never end.
Yeah, they did get hammered with $368 million suit today over
Yeah,
patents.
I did see that.
Yeah.
That'll put a dent in their $125 billion.
Yeah, and of course they're like fighting it, and they're trying to like get those patents like redone. I don't even know. It's sort of a joke. Yeah. I don't know. I really think that's about all we got. It's been sort of slow in the Android world.
Yep.
It's been sort of slow.
Is
that a cricket noise?
Definitely. Yep, definitely a cricket. It has been a slow week. I'm hoping that it like just picks up or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we were hoping to have, like I said, our Nexus units by now. That's all we were going to be doing was Nexus. So, but anyway, one last shout out to NVIDIA. So contest going on. They hooked us up with 2 Asus Transformer Pad Infinities. Is it Infinity Pad or Pad? I think it's Pad Infinity. Anyway.
It's
Infinity Pad.
It's Transformer Pad Infinity.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
The TF700 for all you Android nerds out there.
That's the important part of the TF700.
So we have 2 of those with 2 keyboard docks. NVIDIA giving those away. All you have to do is mention one of the 4 games we talked about earlier in the show in the comments, and that's pretty much it. And we'll pick a winner tomorrow, 9 in the morning. And that's all we're doing. So we are Droid Life. Thanks for coming. Episode 4 in the books. Tim, I'm ready for the hand clap.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
All right, episode 4 of the books. And we are out. Thanks for joining us again, everyone. See you later.
Bye.